just iced my tea with them VVS's. Had to go get a grill cause I'm ripping Texas. I'm a face-to-face stepper, don't do no texting. I'm a shooter, no cupid, don't do no resting. She say chill when I fuck her, I'm too aggressive. No, I'm out by my green like an Android message. Had to stay independent and build my leverage. I like dropping that lean up inside my beverage. Like on crack, keep a making, I'm by my cheese. Only thing made me chef is niggas sing. I'ma dress as a rep for this Halloween. Told her that in my kid like she Billie Jean. Fuck her once and I'm passing her to the team. 18, but my teeth and my wrist on blame. Pussy bout in this pressure like Chico Bang. Punching dick in the guts and the hit is spleen. Run the shit on the road with them lows back and forth on our team going pound for pound. We both off a perk and a little bit of liquor. We fucking for hours, go round for round. Fuck on the hoe without ever head kissing. The promise we never been mouth to mouth. Save a horse ride a cowboy, little bitch come and bounce on it. Fuck it up and I'ma knock it down. I ain't graduate like fuck a cap and gown. Still stepping on shit like the cap is out. On snatching bitches when I hit the town. Better pay attention when I'm speaking out. Pop a couple yerkins, got me itching wild. I'm a dog so I hit it in doggy style. In the car, get the top windows fogging out. He was flexing too hard in his pockets now. Beat the dope with the 4-bit, the crocker style. I get low on that boy like a crocodile. But it just had going you out the water. Boy, it just had going you out the wild. I turn up on that boy and I fuck his mama. I turn up on the old head and fuck his daughter. AP on me looking sitting proper with them VVS's on my teeth like water. I just iced my tea with them VVS's. Had to go get a grill cause I'm ripping Texas. I'm a face-to-face stepper, don't do no texting. I'm a shooter, no cupid, don't do no resting. She say chill when I fuck her, I'm too aggressive. No, I'm out by my green like an Android message. Had to stay independent and build my leverage. I like dropping that lean up inside my beverage. Like on crack, keep a making, I'm by my cheese. Only thing made me chef is niggas sing. I'ma dress as a rep for this Halloween. Told her that in my kid like she Billie Jean. Fuck her once and I'm passing her to the team. 18, but my teeth and my wrist on blame. Pussy bout in this pressure like Chico Bang. Punching dick in the guts and the hit is spleen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Show No Mercy Show. I'm your host, Bodega Joe. How is everybody feeling tonight? In case you're wondering, that was a little R&B faux mob straight at Texas. That Paul Wall fucking banging Mike Jones shit right there. Hope you guys appreciate a little bit of R&B faux mob with that song titled Pressure. Go check it out when you just want to thump something nasty like that. Just ride down the street, sipping on your, I don't know, blueberry frozen slushy. That's how I feel. That's how I feel when I listen to that. I just want to cruise down the street, listen to R&B faux mob with a nice, cold, frozen treat. Anyway, how's everybody feeling? We're going to talk about the CNN interview with Tim Dillon and L. Reeve, ladies and gentlemen. What did you guys think about that? I've been talking to Grok all day about it. My only friend, Grok. So, I don't know. I watched the entire interview, and I can't tell if Tim Dillon was trolling L. Reeve or if L. Reeve just straight up outsmarted this dude, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fucking torn, dude. I cannot figure it out. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching very closely to mannerisms. There's a couple of tells that might insinuate that Tim Dillon was trolling. He kind of does this out of place laugh that's like sarcastic, like responding to something sarcastic that he's saying. But the rest of the interview, I mean, but all the entire interview, he's pretty serious the entire time. So I can't, it's really hard to tell. That's why I wanted to watch it and put it out there and kind of say my piece on it. I know there's a lot of, dick riding Rogan dudes out there that are just going to flat out obviously say that Tim Dillon destroyed L. Reeve, but I think it could be one or the other, honestly. And that's why I'm really doing this, because I can't really figure out. I would like to get opinions on if I point this out, see this from my point of view. You tell me if you think that Dillon was trolling, or do you think he got outsmarted by El Reeve? I mean, I don't think it's as obvious as everybody thinks. So let's take a look at some of these points that I have on here, and then we'll wrap it up with when El Reeves basically calls Tim D a fag to his face. That happened. She did it in such a like backhanded, passive aggressive, liberal type of way, for sure. But she definitely called him a fag to his face at the end there. And that was her big dig at old Tim. And in the beginning, he got a major dig on her as well. And I think that El Reeve probably wanted to see how this would play out so she could kind of decide if she was going to call Tim Dillon a gay Rush Limbaugh at the end here. I think she says a lot of things that she's like, somebody told me. No, you sat around and you wrote that. Because you'll see another joke that she wrote in here as well that we'll point out. And it's kind of on the same level as the gay Rush Limbaugh joke. So let's watch some of this interview, and I want to know what you guys think. Now, pay attention to the beginning here. I think the beginning is the most important piece of this entire thing. Because, and here's another take I have. I think Tim Dillon might be serious this entire time, because I don't think he wants to be taken out of context in any way. I could be totally wrong. Tim Dillon, apparently, he's a chaos guy, but it's just like, it's so much. If it was in this, from this perspective, if he's just trying to create chaos, which he's known for, but it's too much. It's like the guy that won't stop the act when you need to just kind of say something that doesn't require a completely trolled out response. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think here. Straight up the beginning of the interview.
Good. Okay, great. Do you want to talk about your special?
Sure.
Give me the short version.
It's a comedy special on Netflix, and I think it's the most important thing ever, and it will change the course of human history. So you should watch if you'd like to be a part of that. As we know, podcasters are like the most important people in the world. Actually, we didn't know that, but now I've realized it, that we are the arbiters of all things, and comedians matter.
Yeah.
Okay, that is crazy, dude. If he's being dead ass serious, I think he is. He says in the first 20 seconds, I mean, this whole piece is the liberals, the Democrats are still so desperate to dealing with the loss from the election, but they have no accountability. That's what I'm seeing here. No accountability. Like, fuck that you put this person, as a candidate, as a presidential candidate, that you were fine with this person that didn't even get a vote to be in that position in the first place. Let's forget about that. She wasn't even voted into that position to be a candidate. Let's forget about all the weird interviews.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
Every time we saw her on an interview, she was saying something weird or acting weird. Like a drunk, deranged, like a successful auntie at the cookout. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying, like, it didn't appeal to people. And there was so much more. Like, there was just so much more to that scenario. This whole thing is her trying to basically have the Rogan sphere of comedians, the most popular comedians that are / podcasters. She wants them to take ownership of why the election went the opposite way for them. And I think that's just showing lack of accountability. Here we are, months later. We don't even know what this guy is really about, like, all the way yet. He's been in office for a few months. He's done some shit. Okay. But what you're really trying to do is not take accountability. You should have got a candidate in there that was easy to listen to, that was relatable. Nobody believed Kamala Harris in anything she was saying. It was so written for her. It was I don't know. But all I'm saying is it's over with. We have to deal with whatever we have to deal with for the next 4 years. Try again and do better next time. That's all. Don't try to blame these guys. And on the same tip, don't expect these guys to admit that they have any type of power like that and they're in some type of weird establishment, this new establishment you're calling them. They're not going to admit that either. They sort of are, unofficially, the new establishment. He literally just says that his special is going to change history. He just said that podcasters are the arbiters. Okay.
We're just trying to get over stuff that our family did to us, but it's big news.
In fact, let's watch that beginning again. Talk about your special.
Sure.
Give me the short version.
It's a comedy special on Netflix, and I think it's the most important thing ever, and it will change the course of human history. So you should, if you'd like to be a part of that. As we know, podcasters are like the most important people in the world, actually. We didn't know that, but now I've realized it, that we are the arbiters of all things. And comedians.
The arbiters of all things. The guys that have the final say. Am I wrong? Okay.
Matter.
Yeah.
We thought we were just trying to get over stuff that
Comedians matter. Not Black Lives Matter. Keep watching. Keep watching. This is the first 20 fucking seconds.
family did to us, but it's big news. So it's super important, and you should watch it with your whole family, and the course of history will change. There's a lot.
And see, this little laugh right here gets me wondering if he's trolling. He tries to say it again. The course of history will change because of this, but he like snickers. So is it a troll?
But it's big news. So it's super important, and you should watch it with your whole family, and the course of history will change.
I mean, what do you guys think about that? And the fact that he's almost like doing a Trump impression this whole time, like she's basically trying to correlate the Republican politicians, the main players. She's trying to correlate them with having this like new secret establishment. with the anti-woke Rogan Sphere podcasting, world. She's trying to correlate the two. He's trying to say it's not like that, all while doing a Trump impression. I'm getting Trump vibes from him. And saying that this is the most important stuff. Let's keep watching here.
A lot going on.
And
The course of history will change. There's a lot going on.
I've been researching comedy, essentially,
Okay.
the way comedy is now.
Yes.
So I've been talking to lots of people. And one of the comedians that I interviewed said that he thought more people were looking to people like you for their news and opinion because the news got a little dumber and comedians got a little smarter. Tell me what you think about that. Like, why is this happening?
Well, I think that the news has said a variation of the same thing for a very long time. And I think people just tend to get bored, right? I mean, you had institutions like this, you had institutions like Fox, and largely they fell, on opposite sides of the same question. So I think just the idea that you have different.
I think this is the part where he gets his first dig in, because he's saying that all the younger people essentially are gravitating towards the internet and social media and getting their news from guys like Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, and all these big names in the comedy podcasting world. So check this out.
Emerging platforms and different voices, people are just, saying, all kinds of things. Some of them are crazy. Some of them are the most insane things you've ever heard. Some of them have value. Some of them don't. I think it's just a lot more interesting to people, especially people who grew up online or are younger people, seem to gravitate towards that kind of media more than the kind of fake, stilted corporate speak.
He's shitting all over her and her fucking whole deal. He's like, they'd rather the young kids, everybody's going to tune in online and watch my stuff because I'm a cool guy. I'm in the Rogan sphere. They don't want your boring ass bullshit news anymore. It's boring. It's lame. It's not cool. And they don't trust you anymore. That's Tim Dillon's first dig. Fake.
People seem to gravitate towards that kind of media more than the kind of fake, stilted corporate
bullshit ass news that nobody wants.
The traditional legacy media. But I don't know if it's that comedians have gotten smarter or media's gotten dumber. I think media's just kind of become predictable and boring. And the internet has kind of
fake
been an antidote to that.
She's crushed right there. I'm telling you right now, because this job, this big CNN job that she's got, it's the most important thing to her. She is obviously on the left, so she's kind of defending herself. He's basically telling her she's fake. Your media is fucking fake. It's wild. That's the first big dig. Lame, fake, shitty, ugly.
I've heard comedy podcasts referred to as a friendship simulator. What do you think about that?
Nobody cares about the friendship simulator. Let me get to the next time code here. Let me see here. We're going to go to 320. This is where she's going to bring up Rogan. Let me see here. This is where she brings up Rogan. She couldn't wait but 3 minutes until she had to bring up Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan was the actual person that they've been trying to get to do this. But Joe Rogan won't fuck with CNN ever because of what they did to him during COVID with the ivermectin thing. So Joe Rogan ain't fucking with CNN. Joe Rogan ain't fucking with Canada. Same thing. And he's got that. He's got it like that. I don't need to fuck with you. I got all the money in the world. I can do whatever I want. I'm not going on CNN. I'm not going to Canada to do that UFC event. Canada's whack. That's what he said, not me. But yeah, this is where she brings up Rogan because like she got the next best thing. I think she tried to get another comedian before Tim Dillon. I don't know. That's just my feeling. But I think a couple of them denied. Tim Dillon was next in line to represent the new establishment.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan has changed comedy.
I think Joe Rogan has changed media.
Can you explain how that works?
Joe Rogan, now that's important too, man. Joe Rogan has changed media, not just comedy.
I think Joe Rogan has changed media.
Can you explain how that works?
Well, Joe Rogan has this amazingly popular platform where he's led by his interests, meaning like he's bringing on people that have these long-form conversations. In a world where everything's like consumed in like 30-second clips or 60-second clips and 15-second clips, Joe Rogan is having 3-hour discussions with people on anything from conspiracy theories to science to paleontology. He's all over the map, but he's led by his interests and he's accountable to himself and his audience, right? I mean, he's kind of like blazed this trail of like, I'm interested in certain things and I'm going to talk about them with people who I find interesting. There's no real meat.
I think she knows all this. I don't know. I think she's asking him a different question. See, I think that this is where people are getting lost. We're so used to just kind of our intake with information. We forget about things that he said in the beginning of this. And then towards the end, when she's asking, like she's basically telling them, you know, you had a major influence on the election. Just admit that. And he's like, no, what the fuck? Come on. We're not the CIA. When in reality, this could all be a fucking psyop. Very much well connected. They probably don't even know they're a part of the psyop, dude. I mean, shit. It wouldn't surprise me. Fuck. Shit. The government's out there, brother. They gonna get you. You don't even know you're part of the operation, sir. But we got it, boss. We'll get all these fat, drunk podcasters to fucking support the right and the movement. I mean,
that was structured like that ever, right? I mean, that's not how any of these companies were structured. It wasn't like, come on in, what are you guys interested in? Let's talk about it. It was kind of like, these are the stories and here's how we're going to cover them and here's the angles. So I think the entire structure of what Rogan has done has changed everything because it's opened up this idea that you could do that. You could pursue a strategy of talking to people that you find interesting and then growing a tremendously successful platform out of that.
Rogan moved to Austin, opened a comedy club there, and now all these comedians have moved to Austin to be part of that world.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Like, what is that like?
I think it's like any type of clubhouse that you have, right? So you have like all of these different great clubs, and you have a Comedy Cellar in New York and Comedy Store in LA. And, you know, he's opened a great comedy club in Austin where we have a lot of people go there to perform and to, there's a lot of comedy fans that go. So he's cultivated a lot of people that want to come, and he's made it kind of a destination for people that want to see comedy.
Is it a particular kind of comedy?
I think in some cases, yes.
Like, is it anti-woke or?
I think you're far less likely to find that type. Like, the word woke is kind of a boring word, but like, I think you're absolutely more likely to find the type of comedy that Joe likes at his comedy club, which is like kind of edgy, no holds barred, in the sense that, like, you know, they're not policing anybody can say anything as long as there's a good faith effort to make it.
Okay. Now pay attention to that. It's the kind of comedy that Joe likes.
Mm-hmm. So I think that there are people that believe, and they're well within their rights to believe this, that there are topics and words that are off limits. And I don't think Joe feels that way. I think he feels that, like, the people that come into the club, if they have a good faith effort to make a topic funny or an idea funny, that they should be allowed the space to do that. And there are people that disagree with him on that. And there are places that you're far less likely to see certain topics talked about in a funny way because people just don't, they believe that they're off the table.
And, like, what's your relationship with Rogan? Like, you've been on his show.
He's my father.
Well, you've been on his show.
We've never talked about it, and it's because I'm overweight.
Tim Dillon admits that Joe Rogan is his daddy. He's my daddy. I don't care who you are. As a man, I don't care if you didn't grow up with a dad. You never call some random man your daddy. Don't do it. He's my daddy. This is crazy.
And he will not admit it.
He's really
but he is my father. No, I've been on his show multiple. He's a great friend. I respect him. And he's been very nice and generous to me.
How does it going on?
Nice and generous. That is money, ladies and gentlemen. He's my daddy. He gives me money. Generosity is equivalent to money in this scenario. That's 100%.
Show affect your career?
People, he shares his audience. He's got a massive audience. He allows you to come on and say what you want and be funny and be interesting or whatever you're going to be. And he shares his audience. It's a very generous thing to do. And there's not a lot of people who do that, by the way. There's not.
Tell me more about that.
Well, there's just not tons of people at his level that give opportunities to people the way he does.
Yeah.
There are some.
But does a young comedian have to shape his act to try to
Not at all. Joe
role?
Rogan's one pot. It's a very big pot.
Okay. You don't have to shape your act. But in order to, Joe Rogan has this comedy mothership that he sees the kind of comedy that he likes. So 100% people are shaping their act and their belief system to have an opportunity to get noticed by Joe Rogan. Because if you get noticed by Joe Rogan, your whole fucking life changes, dude. It changes. And they know that. So there's 100% people, putting the mask on to try to get noticed by Rogan, because it'll change their life if they get noticed. And that's what all these people are seeking. They want that big money. They want to be noticed. And when you say that it's impossible for up and coming comedians, it's impossible for them to shape themselves in order to get noticed by Rogan, which is what I believe she's asking. You saw Mark Zuckerberg in 4K. This guy shouldn't give a fuck about nothing. But you saw him try to fit in with Rogan and change up who he was. You see him, he's got the Logan Paul hair now. He's over here wearing chains, doing MMA, talking about hunting.
What kind of bow do you have?
Gosh, I didn't get to do it this season, but
do you know the company that makes it?
not off the top of my head.
Where he couldn't even, when Rogan started pressing him about hunting, what kind of bow do you have? He doesn't know shit. That guy, the fuck you money guy, Zuckerberg, he changed up his shit. Now you're saying it's impossible and ridiculous that a comedian would change their beliefs, change up their act to get noticed by Rogan. I mean, that's silly, dude.
That's one podcast in a world of podcasts, in a world of social media apps. There are comedians that have blown up on TikTok who are selling out theaters. That why would they need to shape their act? Me, I would never shape anything. Yeah. Me and Joe.
Me, I would never shape anything. Me and Joe see things the same way. I'm not that guy. They don't do that. But if they did, I'm not that type. It's so weird. Like the back and forth. I don't think people understand that this guy just keeps burying himself. That's really what I'm seeing. I don't think that this is a troll. Maybe in the beginning a little bit. Let's say that was this whole thing where it's impossible. It's like deny. And I don't even think there's anything really worth denying. Yeah, we have a lot of power. Yeah, I'm sure we helped sway the election a little bit or a lot of bit or whatever. That would be dope if we had that. Why can't you just own it? Who gives a fuck? I don't know.
Like see a lot of things in a similar way.
Yeah,
even though we're very different on
but
paper, we see a lot of things in a similar way. So I didn't have to shape it. I don't think people go in there shaping. It would be probably quite obvious if they did.
Okay.
3 hours is a long time.
She knows that that is absolute bullshit.
Quite obvious
Watch
if
look.
they did.
Okay.
Like, look at that face. She doesn't believe that at all.
3 hours is a long time with someone. So if you're completely
You're so
full of
shit.
SHIT,
You're full of
Yeah.
shit.
it might be apparent.
But do you ever look at some comedians who's doing a joke like, DE, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And you're like, that
I've never
What
heard
was
DEI.
that?
don't think so.
Yeah.
There's the
Some
joke.
comedians who's doing a joke like, DE, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What question is that? Do you ever think that there's a comedian that does a joke and you're like, now the benzodiazepines are kicking in, the Xanax or whatever the fuck she took before this, now they're starting to cook in her system. Do you ever think that there's just like a comedian that's like, I don't think so. And you're just like, and you're sitting here wondering why you lost the fucking election? Get off of the drugs. Get off of the Adderall. Get off of the benzodiazepines. Do you ever think there's just like, I don't think so. And then you're just like, and then Tim Dillon's like, no, I totally understand your question. Let me answer that real quick.
yeah, I don't think. Or look at some comedians who's doing a joke like, DE, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I've never heard DEI, I don't think so.
I made that up. That
Okay,
is,
I've never heard
I
that
tried
one.
to do the shortest.
By the way, there is
She's
definitely
been
someone
studying
doing
comedy, and that's the best thing that she could come up with.
that.
That's
There's
what I mean.
definitely someone doing that. Yeah, that would be not a good joke.
I know,
That's
but
not
you,
a great joke.
All right, let me. I'll just.
Yeah,
Let
sure.
me give you an example.
Okay.
And I won't name.
Could we just admit that maybe the left is just not, they don't understand comedy? I mean, and to think that, the influence of the podcasting community, yes, in the Rogan sphere, yes, they have a lot of power, but on the left, they got plenty of power too. They got the late night shows. I mean, her argument would probably be that more people tune in to these podcasts than they do cable TV. That's a big argument, I'm sure. I'm sure there's data out there. I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure that there is a larger amount of folks going to the internet for their news and not really fucking with, late night talk show hosts. As popular as they are, I'm not saying they're not popular. They got pulled too. And they're almost all left leaning. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. Shit. Like, you want everything. You're upset because you don't have the podcasting on the podcasting comedian world on lockdown too, and you're trying to understand it. Like, this proves you just don't fucking get it. You don't get it, and that's okay. But don't pin it all on one side, and the other side don't not admit that you heavily influenced the way people voted. And that's okay. All right, let's see here.
Okay.
But there's a comedian who lives near me.
Okay.
And he has this joke about how he walks all around New York and he sees all these flags from all these different countries, but he never sees the American flag.
Yeah.
Well, we live.
I don't understand how that's even a joke. That's not a joke. That's just a silly thing to say, especially if you live in New York. Was it your first time being here? Like, there's fucking different flags of, dude, there's so many communities in New York especially. It's crazy. It's always been that way. And your joke is to go, that's just a stupid ass joke.
Near each other, and I know he's talking about this little Caribbean grocery store that's got a little plastic streamer of Caribbean flags, and I'm like, it feels a little phony to me, and I'm like, it feels like he's like trying to appeal to a certain audience. I'm not accusing you of that, by the way.
No. I mean, I've
I'm
never
interested
been to
in your
that
analysis.
Caribbean grocery store. I don't live in your neighborhood.
I don't live in your neighborhood. I don't mess around with the poor people. And he says that to her later. I don't live in your neighborhood. Trust me. You're way too poor. It's gross where you live. I live in the nicer part. But that's just a dumb joke. I don't even know how I don't even understand what the question was. So does Tim Dillon, by any chance, have you guys seen the movie Dirty Work? Does Tim Dillon look like he got his nose bitten off by a Saigon whore?
I could have got my nose bit off by a Saigon whore. You bastard!
I want to say that he looks exactly like the guy that got his nose bitten off by a Saigon whore. Dude, could you imagine this guy? I bet you there's all kinds of like bar stool ladies that are like jumping all over him. Fucking and sucking him. Oh, God. I mean, are we really here? These are the people that we have to talk to now? These two weird mongoloid people? This is who we have to listen to? Really?
Do I think people exaggerate things for the benefit of comedy? Probably all the time.
But like, are they?
And check this Trumpism out. I want to show you at, let me see. Let me get the time code here. There we go.
Parents are trying to be liberal, but they're not, and here's why they're evil. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Okay. That was a Trumpism. He's doing Trump right here. They don't have any influence over me. I don't have any influence over them.
My parents are trying to be liberal,
And
but
then-
they're not, and here's why they're evil. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay. It usually feels like it's
dude. Trumpism, like a mug.
and they were so out of touch and whatever. And it's usually like, my parents are trying to be liberal, but they're not, and here's why they're evil. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay. It usually feels like it's something that's been wildly blown out of proportion because that's most of comedy, right? It's like,
It's a Trumpism to me, dude. Is it trolling? Is it not? Okay, let me see here. This is where she's going to talk about how she was trying to get an interview with another comedian. So that's why I assume Tim Dillon is third or fourth in line, because here's where she talks about trying to interview another comedian that apparently and the story goes that the manager said that Rogan would not like that. So we're not going to do it. Let me see here. This is at 11:40. There we go.
Okay, just something else related to that. So one comedian who was like kind of in that world,
Yes.
Fox, etc.
yeah.
That I tried to interview. His manager told me that he wouldn't do an interview with me because Rogan would get mad at him for talking to CNN.
Oh,
And-
That's
okay.
untrue.
That's
That's completely insane.
Okay.
all right. So she is saying that she talked to somebody, spoke to somebody. They said they wouldn't do the interview because Rogan would get mad. He says that's untrue. Dillon says that's untrue. That's completely insane. Shoots it down. No, that's not true. That's not true. And then she hits him with,
Completely insane.
listen to him go
That
off.
is completely nuts. He was afraid of you.
Oh, okay.
He thought you were going to come in and really rough him up or something. There's no such thing as Rogan would be mad at someone for talking. That's crazy.
Oh, well, that's good
No.
to hear. Okay.
No.
Good. I'll let him know.
You think that's how it works? Rogan sends emails. I know you don't.
I
think
would-
that, but that's a crazy thing. Like Rogan's like, "What are you doing? Oh, you're doing this." No, do gut fact.
Now, obviously, I don't think that Rogan's typing out emails. See, he goes to the most extreme example, and then it makes you like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. But in reality, it's almost the same thing as they are heavily influenced by Rogan. Rogan gave them their platform, gave them monetary value, essentially, made them who they are, millionaires. Tim Dillon probably makes $500,000 a month. He's a millionaire. All these guys that are in that sphere, millionaires. Okay. They 100% have loyalty to Rogan. Now, Rogan may have not said anything, but to say that their relationship with Rogan, it would be not in question, but their relationship with Rogan, they're not going to sacrifice their relationship with Rogan talking to CNN, the same people that fucking spit roasted him during COVID. They're loyalists. Now, you're telling me as well that Tim Dillon didn't talk about this interview with CNN to Rogan beforehand to get a feeler? Told him how he was going to play it before Rogan said anything? You don't think that there was a conversation? That's crazy. That's crazy not to think. There was definitely a conversation that was had. Hey, man, I'm going to do this CNN interview. Everyone's like, just do it. Yeah. Just do it, dude. Oh, you're going to make them look stupid. I'm telling you. Look at this. Look at that face. Yeah, I just got to. This is your guys' king. This is your God. Yeah, let's go to the golf course and drink Budweisers all day. This is your God. Fucking dudes. You guys are insane, bro. This guy swayed the election. Fuck. Oh, God.
No one cares.
I mean,
no one cares what anyone.
Rogan gave you the go-ahead to go on this CNN interview. And I saw thumbnails just recently that he went straight to Rogan and talked about it. Come on. She knows he's full of shit.
And the idea, I think people think life's very interesting. We see this with the QAnon people.
Right.
Where they're like.
And here's this. Is he comparing QAnon to... He's like, you're the QAnon conspiracy theorists, and we're the actual people that do the nasty crimes and stuff.
Tunnels, and you go, it's really just rich people.
Okay.
And you go, well, but they're doing all these terrible things. You go, absolutely, but they always have. And a lot of them always probably will if they can get away with it. But the levels of intrigue that people build around these things, I don't find that they're not that super interesting. You know?
I just want to be clear though.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a horrible analogy. Because is he comparing what she's trying to do to expose this cult, this new establishment? Is he trying to say that you're the conspiracy theorist and we are the actual kid fuckers? And yes, we actually do this stuff, but we've always done this stuff and there's not that much mystery, so be quiet about it. That's weird to me. Is it not? That's a weird analogy, dude.
It didn't come from like a commenter.
If he canceled my appearance because of this. I can't imagine any manager saying that. I mean, that's...
Oh, no, the manager I spoke to directly.
No, I
see, and that's where she's like, no, I spoke to him like it really actually happened. It's not a thing that my we're not just saying this. Like, I actually talked to him and they said this. When he said it was impossible, now he's like having to backpedal there. Oh, okay, I believe that they did. 2 seconds ago, you were saying that there's no fucking way and that never happened and that's crazy. And now you're saying you believe they did.
Can't imagine any manager saying that. I mean, that's...
Oh, no, the manager I spoke to directly.
No, I believe that they did. It's just such a funny
what the fuck? Are you guys not fucking paying attention to what you're watching? Because I've seen tons of things on Tim Dillon saying that he just owned it. And how do you fucking figure? Are you going off of the 10-second clips that you're seeing, the highlights that are probably coming from the Dillon camp, the Rogan Sphere camp? And then you're just basing your opinions on this. You got to watch this whole interview. I mean, not to get off track, but damn, did anybody notice in that Shia LaBeouf interview with John Bernthal 2 years ago, did anybody notice that Shia LaBeouf was over here saying that he had herpes and that he was giving it to all kinds of partners and he didn't care?
I've gotten cold sores my whole life. Got them from my mother. I get 2 cold sores a year when I'm stressed out or I'm sick. I never told any of my sexual partners about getting cold sores. Never.
He never told them? He was just spreading herpes around? Bet you didn't find that in that interview. You just have a bunch of people praising, oh, how brave. This is cool, man. I struggle with addiction. Yeah, cool. But you didn't at all catch the fact that Shia LaBeouf was saying that he had herpes and he was just slapping herpes all around everybody without telling them? Pay attention to these interviews. If you're going to consume this shit, consume it all the way.
All right, well, that's good to know. Do you think Rogan would talk to me?
You think Rogan would talk to me? Probably not.
Oh, you know, I mean, he's a big get.
I know.
He's a big get.
Important.
So, I mean, you could try, you know. I don't know if I had his money if I'd be doing any interview. I don't know if I'd be here. I think I would be on a boat. I probably wouldn't be doing a podcast. I'd be somewhere else. I don't know if you'd be able.
Here's the new establishment question.
It's pretty difficult to look at these podcasts. I know it's a popular thing right now, especially in certain media circles, to say that after running an incredibly unpopular candidate who was introduced very late in the race because an elderly man who could not be the president, who everyone told was functioning as the president for 4 years, decided to, this wind is wild, huh?
Yeah.
See? But this was a very specific circumstance in which Kamala Harris ran for the presidency.
Yeah.
She was somewhat unpopular, and she was not a star in Democratic politics before this at all. And her communication strategy was pretty weak. I think most people have admitted that. So to hang this defeat all on a few podcasts and to say that they were the problem, I don't buy. I just don't buy the narrative. So I don't think I'm a new.
I don't understand how it's a problem, dude. I don't understand. It's like you don't want to, just because this guy's been in office a few months and a few things are going down that are questionable. Now you're backpedaling, not 4 months into the presidency, when you gave all these dudes a platform. I mean, it is what it is, man. Do you regret it? I guess that would be a question. Do you regret it? And I think she does ask him a question like that. Like if you could go back or whatever.
Establishment, if you weigh, again, a few comedians with podcasts versus all of the people that supported Kamala Harris, you know, Democrat donors, billionaires, big people. If the idea is that me and a few comedians have more power than multi-billionaires, huge media institutions, a whole political party apparatus, I just don't think most people are going to buy that. I think it seems like a great...
Well, you fucking certainly sold it in the beginning of this conversation when you said you change the world. Your fucking stupid ass special is going to change the world. That you guys have the final say in everything. You are the arbiters. I mean, but now you're saying, I don't think that people are going to buy that we have this kind of power. I mean, it makes you look worse that you're trying to cover it up. You know what you look like? You look like a politician. That's what you're starting to fucking really look like. And that's what's sus about the whole damn thing. Trying to cover up everything. You can't just admit. Like, yeah, dude, we have tons of power. I think it's actually pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe we made a mistake. I don't know. But we definitely influenced that shit somehow. A little bit, at least. I mean, this is just guilty shit. This is just, you're trying too hard to cover it up.
Excuse running an unpopular candidate.
But he's also right about this. Kamala was unpopular as hell. I don't even think a lot of the Democrats trusted her. I mean, she was just a shoo-in. Like, she just... Joe Biden's unfit. Go ahead. Hurry up. No, nobody needs to vote about it. Just go. Like, yeah, what he's saying right here is true too. Just can't put it all on us. We did have a little bit to do with it, but your side did too. She didn't communicate properly. People didn't buy it. And you guys went fucking apeshit with all the other crazy Nazi stuff too. I mean, that ruined it for you as well, I think. Comparing this dude, the president, a presidential candidate, to comparing him to Adolf Hitler was, I think, a big deal. And obviously him getting shot in the face that had a lot to do with it.
Form that American people weren't sold on.
I think even beyond politics, though, even beyond the question of the election, like, again, I know the like liberal Joe Rogan conversation is so dominant, and I think not like nuanced enough, but there is power in a massive audience.
There's absolutely power in a massive audience, but if you're saying that power is equal to the CIA or all of these other people that are...
It's a CIA op. I mean, combining those two, maybe you don't have the power and influence of the CIA, but if you're a part of the PSYOP, you're part of the op. You're part of the operation, bud.
Has been very critical of President Trump, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that like the power that Theo Von has would be equal to like the intelligence agencies or these massive legacy media institutions seems crazy.
But you got way more audience than when you're saying we don't have power, we're not the CIA. Well, there's some gradations between that, and also I'm sure there's like.
Well, just you use the word establishment.
Yeah.
I didn't say that we didn't have any power or that audiences weren't powerful. But when you use the term establishment, I think that's more than just having an audience. That's having an institutional component that I don't think we have. But I think legacy media does. I think the government and the intelligence.
Basically, what Tim Dillon is saying is that it's not an actual thing. We don't have a name for it. There is an establishment there, but he's trying to skid around what she's saying by saying, hey, it's not like an official thing or anything. You're saying that it's like the CIA, and we're not the CIA. We're just a bunch of podcasters making millions and millions of dollars and having a lot of influence on people. Influencer.
Communities do. I think Hollywood certainly does. And I think all of those people, all of those power factions have worked together for a very, very, very long time. So to say that a few comedians with podcasts equal that seems crazy.
I see why you say. Okay, I understand.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
It's like, I guess like new establishment is kind of a term of art within old media, and maybe I'm not using that in a clear way, but it's like, this is the place to go to address Americans.
I certainly think it's becoming a place, and it should be a place, because I think careers go up and down.
I mean, I interviewed
and then here's where she gets mad that there's all the left-wing comedians their shows have been canceled, even though they're doing very well.
Comedy writer who was like, this
Kimmel, Fallon.
This thing is spent, but but all those people who had the kind of like left-wing shows like Amy Schumer and Michelle Wolf, Samantha Bee, those have all been canceled.
Because they're not funny. Really, that's it. There's nothing crazy about that. They're just not funny. You guys don't get it. And that's okay. You can't have everything. You can't have it all. It's okay. You still got Fallon, you still got Kimmel, you still got Jon Stewart.
Well, but there'll be new ones. There'll be new ones. I mean, do you not have the faith? Do you think there's going to be no left-wing comedy?
I don't see like a little ecosystem or like a galaxy. I mean, you might dispute this, but like in the sort of right of center.
There's a galaxy
world,
there's
right?
An establishment.
There's Rogan, and there's all this stuff.
And we just want to be a part of something like that, but we're not really good at comedy. You see it all the time. You see it all the time on Kill Tony. These ones that the ones that are left of center, or however they're phrasing this, they're not that funny. Because I think they hold back a lot of things, and I don't know. It's never been great. I mean, I don't like Kimmel, I don't like Fallon, and it's not because they're left or right or whatever. It's because they're just not funny to me. They're not. And I'm not saying that Rogan's the funniest guy or Schultz is the funniest guy. But their specific comedy, especially, it just doesn't do it. It doesn't do it for a lot of people. And she's upset because they don't have a Rogan sphere. Well, get one.
Again, is Trevor Noah not popular? He does arenas.
No. Is he
does
popular?
He's an arena comedian. He's one of the most popular comedians in the country. Hassan Minaj, Ronnie Chang. These guys are all left-wing, and they're all really funny, really popular comics who I'm friends with and like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think this thing's happening. Whatever everyone thinks happening, I don't think is happening.
Why
this
do you
idea
think?
that like left-wing like, where are they? Where are they? Where are they to be found? Where's Amy Schumer? I don't know. She's in her $15 million townhouse in Brooklyn. I think she'll be okay. I think these people will be okay.
But her show was canceled.
She just had a show on Hulu called Life and Beth.
Because it sucked.
She just had a movie come out on Netflix. I mean, Amy's doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fine. All these people are fine. I will text a few of them and go, people are worried about you.
Okay.
I think they're okay.
I mean, if they want to talk to me, I would love to talk.
Sure.
Murdered.
Bid.
But you don't think Bannon is trolling?
Bannon's not a troll. Like, did you watch the interview?
Yes.
It's a different energy than Elon. It's not a troll energy.
Yeah.
It's fully like this quasi-autistic, like, this is the way it is energy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I read it. I could be wrong.
Are you on the spectrum?
No, I'm not. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Right.
I don't think so.
I
mean, it depends. Is there money in it? I don't think...
There is money being on the spectrum for AJ Wilkerson, the fake autist. There is money in it. He's made his whole comedy career about autism.
I think it was more of a troll on Elon's thing, and the Bannon thing seemed to me like it was somewhat accidental, but maybe I'm wrong. But I don't, again, he's shown no evidence that he's sympathetic to that belief system.
I'm like kind of having an epiphany like in this interview. It's like, I wonder, it is possible that maybe the journalistic fixation on the whole podcast thing is partly like, you guys are kind of taking our jobs, but not doing the shitty part, which is like the uncomfortable thing in the room that sucks, which is like, are you bad? Just like.
Are the journalists doing that? Are
maybe
they
not.
doing that?
Maybe not
Are
enough.
they doing the "Are you bad"? Is that what journalists
I have
been
to do
doing?
the "Are you bad"?
Sure, but is that what is your view of and it's a fair question, is your view of mainstream American journalism calling out powerful people? Is that what we've been seeing?
Do you read ProPublica?
Okay, but do you know what I mean? Like when we
I know.
look,
Well, it's not a monolith. It's not a.
And I also just don't think that one interview with J.D. Vance is doing a journalist job. I think it's one interview.
I am sort of speaking to you as representative.
And then the next thing, I'm talking about Oompa Loompas.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like, I think there should be a time for journalists to go, wow, we're going to really supercharge and do a lot of stuff and be great.
Yeah.
Jane Mayer's not accusing me of taking her job.
Well, I
Seymour
know,
Hersh is not
like-
saying I'm taking his job, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm just wondering if maybe
and I'm not
that's
taking
part
your
of
job.
the-
You're going all over the place, getting into these deep holes and fleshing out stuff. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting and having a conversation with somebody, whether it's a friend of mine, a guy who wants to be the vice president, or I'm yelling at like a family member who can't respond because they don't have a show. That's a fucking podcast,
Yes, but.
And they're all publicly funded or whatever. And it's a guy that I've spoken to. Or at McDonald's just seemed crazy. And
It's not a hater.
this was a lot of the.
And then we're going to wrap this interview up with the last final dig. She finally gets on calling Tim Dillon a fag. Here we go. You've all been waiting for it. Here we go.
What do you think of that?
Behind someone in a
check this
circle
out.
at McDonald's just seemed crazy. And if you weren't making fun of it, I don't really know what you were doing.
Someone described you to me as a gay Rush Limbaugh. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that's an insult, but I think he was very good at what he did. And I think you're also talking to a lot of comedians with no money who dislike me.
Damn, see, now he tries to get that dig back. Oh, who you been talking to? They don't got no money. Calling me a gay Rush Limbaugh. They have no money. That's crazy. Check this whole thing out.
What you were doing.
Someone described you to me as a gay Rush Limbaugh. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that's an insult, but I think he was very good at what he did. And I think you're also talking to a lot of comedians with no money who dislike me.
No, this was not a hater. This was not a hater.
This was a lot of the people that live in your neighborhood can't pay their bill.
She didn't get that from anybody. She wrote that. I guarantee. Look at that. She thought that that got him. She's like, I'm going to call this dude a homo to his face. She's proud of that one. Let's see.
And I think you're also talking to a lot of comedians with no money who dislike me.
No, this was not a hater. This was not a hater.
This was a lot of the people that live in your neighborhood can't pay their bills, and unfortunately, they all went into comedy, and a lot of them didn't succeed. So I think they're saying it as an insult, but I actually thought he was very good at his job.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tim Dillon interview. What do you guys think about that, man? That's interesting, man. And how she ended it like that. Oof. I mean, he got some digs in the beginning. Remember? He called her boring, lame, fake. And then at the end of it, she's like, okay, well, you're gay. Period. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I know that everybody's like, man, Tim Dillon smoked her. I don't know. I don't see it that way. If he was trolling, it was the best troll ever. I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm going to watch the Rogan interview next and see what Rogan has to say, or what Tim Dillon has to say on the Rogan show. I'm going to keep on that R&B faux mob. We're going to end the show tonight. I hope you guys had fun watching that interview. We're gonna end the show with the Texas remix featuring Lil Kiki and Paul Wall. This is R&B faux mob with Texas remix.
Jump ticks, everybody ran it, keep a whip. Everybody ran it, used to step. Stay out the way, cause this can get dead. Ayy, dump ticks, we throwing bows on a big body Chevy. Swinging the slim like the fenders were heavy. We packed on sight, baby, cause that's a stare. Ayy, dump ticks, so we pour forward our beverages. Sip on that drink till we heavy. Dump ticks, so Mexicans and blacks stand together, we keep it heavy. Ayy, standing on business, don't care if you feel it. Make sure that you coming correctly. Ayy, bam. Big dogs with no leashes, I bet that your bone getting buried. In the woods, we got hogs and coyotes. They eat up dead bodies, don't care about no evidence. Everybody out here really ready to kill you. Black, we ain't tripping about spinning. The jury, the cars, the clothes, everything that y'all do, we invented it. The that you eat the meat off the bone, they gon' swallow them kids, I ain't spitting it. Hey, jump ticks, everybody ran it, keep a whip. Everybody ran it, used to step. Stay out the way, cause this can get dead. Hey, dump ticks, we throwing bows on a big body Chevy. Swinging the slim like the fenders were heavy. We packed on sight, baby, cause that's a stare. Ay.
Straight out of TEXs, whole lot of serving juice like it's breakfast. We make the trunk flip up like a deadlift. I cleared every box on the checklist. Hating on us, for sure that's a death wish. Please make an exodus, it can get treacherous. Riding on candy and chrome, cause that is our preference. Players only in Texas, no petulance. It's nothing but hard grinders. Down here, we got our own designers. Swinging that lag, riding on recliner. But I can catch boppers if I roll on primer, cause I'm Texas made, Texas paid. We tip on foes and we chop on blades. From the 281 to the 210 to the 214, it's a Texas thing.
Jump ticks, everybody ran it, keep a whip. Everybody ran it, used to step. Stay out the way, cause this can get dead. Ayy, dump ticks, we throwing bows on a big body Chevy. Swinging the slim like the fenders were heavy. We packed on sight, baby, cause that's a stare. Ayy,
Texas boy in that turning lane on them swinging things, and I'm hard. In that Cadillac with the trunk cracking, I'm still dressed in my yard. If that Chevy riding in them bows sliding on the dime, packing that heater. Got that for a gangster party, this a top dime, two-seater. I say, down from Texas, got them big rocks in my necklace. Just them killers riding and they reckless. I hope all y'all get the message. It's a big body, no stain. Plus them 84s on that frame. Oh yeah, Southside is my game, and the Slab King is my name. Yeah.
Jump ticks, everybody ran it, keep a whip. Everybody ran it, used to step. Stay out the way, cause this can get dead. Ayy, dump ticks, we throwing bows on a big body Chevy. Swinging the slim like defenders were heavy. We packed on sight, baby, cause that's a steering. Ayy,